So to start, we'll go injury update. Langston will not play this weekend and doubtful for the NCAA tournament. So I know that's going to be a question, so we'll just knock that one out earlier. Thoughts and prayers for him. I know he's had a tough go at it.
How is he doing just
mentally?
Emotionally?
He's in charge of coaching this week, so I think he'll want to play after this week. meaning it's much easier to do that than have to help everyone else. So, but Langston's one of the leaders of the team. He understands his role, regardless playing or not. And since he's been out, he's done a good job helping the people that have filled in for him. So we expect the same from him.
One guy who seemed to step his game up in Kansas City was Caleb.
Yeah.
You kind of envision that continuing?
We're hoping for that, and that's why it always takes a team to win. Some nights it's your night, some nights it's not. But Caleb, what you can always count on is Caleb's always going to play hard. He's always going to compete. He's always going to be a great teammate. I thought the game slowed down for him up there, meaning he always does a great job rebounding, but offensively he really did a good job playing within himself and creating for his teammates, and he's really been offensively executing it at a high level.
What have been some of your takeaways from watching the Colgate film, I guess?
Yeah. Well, first, anytime you have 8 guys that have been to the tournament as much as they have, 4 of them have been there 4 times. This is their 4th time. 4 of them have been there 2 or 3 times. So they're not in awe of it, and they know what to expect, what to do. They've had success in tournament games with Wisconsin, Tennessee were 7-point games, and virtually every game that they played at one point it was tied or they were leading in the second half. So it's a team that executes really well. We've played teams similar like BYU or Cornell that offensively do some of the similar things, which is helpful to face some of that. But you go into a tournament and you always want to have the experience on your side, and definitely they have that. So you always divide up, and someone in your staff does that. But I never look at any game other than the only one that matters. So you win, you stay, you lose, you go home. So there's no reason to. And I'm not smart enough to prepare for multiple teams. But what you always do is if there's commonalities, and the assistants that watch the other teams say, hey, we can do this, and that prepares for all 3 teams, or then you try to incorporate that on a Monday, Tuesday, something like that, Wednesday.
Y'all obviously head out pretty soon. What did this practice today kind of mean, I guess, being the last one before you start?
Well, I think each and every day during postseason, you want to keep improving. You want to keep getting better, and then you got to weigh the risk and reward. You want to be fresh, and you don't want to be injured. So there's always that fine balance of how much contact do you do versus how much do you not do. And we got a team that likes to compete, so we probably err on the side of doing a little too much rather than not enough. And I respect and like that about this group.
How much practice, I guess, went into maybe stopping the slow starts, and how do you look at that in practice? It's just like, is it getting shots up, repetition?
Well, I think you can look at it. Let's start with Iowa State. The first play of the game, Jalen goes down, hit in the face or not. It's 5-on-4. They hit a 3. So, I mean, how do you plan for that? The next one, Lipsy steps on Nunn. Nunn falls down. That's another wide open 3. So, I mean, there's some things that, like, if we have good shots to start the game, and then on defense, it's now the third 3 they got was a defensive breakdown. So that one we can correct. But sometimes you have good looks and you miss. They have bad looks and make or freak plays, and you can't do anything about that. So I think we always try to do what we can do to control what we can control, and that is early on we want to get high percentage shots. And defensively, we don't want to give up easy ones. We've tried zone, we've tried man, and we've tried long sets, short sets, threes. So, I mean, you always keep tweaking, but I don't know if there's a perfect formula. Otherwise, we'd all have it and we'd all do it. I know normally the more experienced teams start out a little bit better than teams that might be a little more inexperienced and nervous, and that's why we try to make things simpler at the beginning of the game too.
In that Iowa State game in particular, you had the 3 forward lineup with Boner and Bridges and either Josh or
Yeah.
How much did you like about that, and is it hard to just go to that after having 3 guards up there so much during the beginning of the season?
Good questions. I think it's great to have all of us play cards. You rather have more cards than less cards to choose from. And some nights you need face cards. Other nights you need low cards, depending on the game. And with us, analytically, we break down every lineup. And the lineups I like are the ones that are positive. The ones that I don't like are the ones that are negative. And we try to play to that. But again, some of that depends on the team you're playing and what you're doing. So again, Caleb playing as well as he has, it gives you another card that you can play more. And one thing is, you're never going to be out physical, or you never have to worry about playing hard when Caleb's on the court.
You've talked about how Jacoby is a sponge. Give us an example maybe of how that has played out maybe in practice. Or
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I probably could put Eve and Jacoby into that mix from the standpoint of freshmen starting. There's not a lot of freshmen that start, but when you say something in practice one time and they can do it, not only are they open to learning, but they have a quick retention. And coaches love players that you can say something one time, or they can make a mistake and you can show them what we want done, and then they don't make it again. I mean, that's such a blessing. Some guys just aren't as quick of learners, and it might take half a year, and they're still making the same mistake. You're like, so the fact that both of them pick up stuff quick, then it allows you to put more stuff in too. I think I'll equate it to the foreign language teaching. If someone picks up Spanish 1 real easy, you go to Spanish 2. They pick that up, you go to Spanish 3. But if until they can pick it up, you can't move on to the next thing.
There's a certain humility that kind of comes with that.
100%. Yeah.
Is that unique with a guy that is as talented as Jacoby and probably has often been the best guy on the court?
Yeah, I think that's one of his strengths. And the guys that tend to think they know it all tend to not improve. And the guys that want to learn, want to get better, constantly open to that, are the ones that you not only enjoy coaching, but you see them continue to progress. I mean, no matter how old any of us get, the minute we stop learning, then we can't move on to the next iPhone, right?
It's kind of a similar situation for Keontae last year. Would you see any parallels heading into this NCAA tournament that you did with Keontae, just in terms of preparing Jacoby and Eve for this time?
Well, I think Keontae was in a different situation because he was coming off an injury, and he wasn't really 100%. He tough kid, wanted to play, and but it's hard enough going to your first NCAA tournament, but doing that and not being 100% makes it harder. And we're blessed. Miro, Jacoby, Eve have all been really durable, and we always say the best ability is availability, and they've done a great job with that.
Schedule is what it is, but have you seen through the years, would you rather start on Thursday, opening day, or Friday?
Whichever day that we win on, I would like that day. If you asked me before the tournament, I would always say Friday. And I think it's great that your players get a chance to see some of the NCAA tournament. I think it gives you another day to prepare. With our conference tournament going later, a lot of your mid-majors finish sooner. So when I was at Valpo, we want to play Thursday because you'd been off a while. With us, an extra day was always a good thing. We took Sunday off and just had the selection show where if you were playing on Tuesday or Thursday, you'd have to practice that day. Well, the great thing about the Big 12 schedule is we've played at 11 and we've played at 9 at night. I mean, I think we've played everywhere. The older you get, it's easier in the morning. But I think the biggest thing is we're going to be ready whatever the time, because this is why you do what you do, is you want to be in March Madness and the NCAA tournament.
Do you ever, just out of curiosity, do you ever fill out a bracket, or does your family fill out a bracket? And what's the consequence, I guess, for not picking Baylor or Grand Canyon?
Well, if the kids want to stay in the house, they better pick Baylor. But as far as some years I do, some years I don't. It really depends on how much I got on my plate. And most years I don't pick. I don't fill out a bracket. And we're worried about controlling what we could control to stay in the bracket.
Scott, you've talked about it before, but like getting guys opportunity excites you, even for the fans and stuff like that. Ray J, the fact that he's played this many games and finally getting him to an NCAA tournament, how important or excited are you about that?
Extremely excited. And again, I'm one of the few that have always, because especially at our position, you'd only want to play 6 games to win a national championship instead of 7. But the fact that there's 363 schools, only 68 get to be a part of it, that's such a low percentage. Just being a coach, a parent, wanting as many kids to experience that as possible. If they took it up to 7 games, 128 teams, I mean, my heart still goes out to all the teams that night, because if you coach long enough, you've been there where there's a chance you get in and you don't get in, and that's really hard. And thank goodness there's the NIT, but especially the low majors, mid majors that are one bid leagues. I mean, you can win your league, you can be undefeated, and a fluke play, and you're out of the tournament, and you don't get to even go to postseason now, where the NIT used to give automatic bids to the mid-major winners, and that's why I've always, there's enough parity. I mean, 128, you can go more. I mean, that's why it's March Madness. If the favorites always won, it'd just be March. Thank you, guys.
I think if I was in Langston's position, I wouldn't be handling it the way he is. He's a warrior. He's positive. He's a consistent guy. He's always working out. And so to see somebody that's consistently putting into the program not be able to play is tough. But the great thing about Langston is, I think in his mind, if he can't play, well, then he's going to be the best teammate, and he's going to be the best energy on the bench, and he's going to help us through things. You know, he can affect the game not only on the court, but on the side as well. And so his attitude going into this is incredible, and I feel for him because he has been through so many injuries that are just random, kind of weird things, and things that have kind of been persistent and won't go away. And so I feel really bad for him, but he has one hell of an attitude.
Eve, how excited are you for just, your first taste of March Madness?
I'm really excited. It's my first time. I've just been watching on TV, so I'm really excited to get down there and just play our first game.
What have, the guys who've been there told you about it?
It's just a different atmosphere, just something you experience like once in your life. And that's something I want to experience, just to see how it is and see how it feels.
If you were watching it, the NCAA tournament, you said you've watched it in the past. Any special memories or any games that stick out in your mind? Maybe the 21 national championship game or anything?
I would say the Jalen Suggs buzzer beater is the one I remember. That's probably the only game I remember for like 2 years ago, and just something I was like, oh, I wish I was in that position to see how it feels.
Caleb, what's kind of the mentality heading? I mean, obviously last practice, did it feel a little bit more intense today, knowing you guys are heading to that new venue?
Yeah, I mean, practice is going to be practice, and we have same old boring habits and things that we do the same the entire year. And so there's a consistency to the way Scott Drew runs practice, and nothing's new to us. Nothing's going to surprise us. We're going to prepare the same way we've been preparing all year. There is a level of excitement that's a little bit different, and so I think we're all ready to get down there and continue moving, counting the days down.
What are y'all kind of expecting from Colgate, this upcoming matchup?
They're a super well-coached team. They have some bigs that are really good underneath the basket. We're going to have to be the more physical, tougher team. and then just play Baylor basketball, play our game, rebound the way we do, shoot the ball and move it like we should, and I think we're going to be all right.
Not that you weren't playing with confidence before, but when you have a little stretch of games like you've had where you've been able to get in and really contribute, hit some shots, does it raise the confidence to a new level?
I mean, yeah, I think anytime you're playing good minutes, your confidence goes up. But I was given opportunity, and I think I was able to capitalize off it. And my goal is to win and help the team where I can, and I was given the chance. And so, again, I think we all want to win as many games as we can, especially at this point. Every game's valuable, and so that's the mentality, I think, of everybody.
It seemed like that 3-forward lineup was pretty effective. Do you feel like that's something that could be kind of a weapon or a good thing for you guys in the tournament?
Yeah. I just think the length, the athleticism of that lineup, especially if we're going to play in that zone, I think could help us. But again, wherever I can help the team win, that's the goal at the end of the day. And so, if there's opportunity, I'll make the most of it, and then we'll keep this thing pushing.
Eve, do you feel like there's a little bit more pressure on you and Jacoby, maybe heading into your first NCAA tournament to perform?
Not really. I mean, I would just take it as any other games. For me, just like a game. You're trying to win and just trying to move forward.